According to Brick Fanatics, there will be 8 LEGO Speed Champion sets retiring by end of this year. In this video, I'm going to share my top picks for investment. As always, my videos are just for entertainment. I am not giving out any financial advices. Alright, let's get started. Hello everyone, I'm Kwang. Welcome to my channel. Let me start with my rank number 4 on the list. The Ford Mustang Sport Car, set number 76920. I ranked this one at number 5 because first, it's a classic and recognizable sport car that everybody is familiar with. And second, LEGO designed this vehicle very well. Also, there's not many stickers on it. However, it's just not very unique and tied to any popular IP compared to the rest of my list. Let's look at the data from Amazon. There are over 2,000 sets sold in the past month. This is a typical sales number for LEGO set under $30. For popular sets, we will see a higher number, which I will show you later for the other Speed Champion sets. Alright, let's move on to number 4 on my list. The 2023 McLaren Formula 1, set number 76919 with 245 pieces. I have a mixed feeling about this LEGO set because LEGO has recently released 12 new Formula 1 designs in their new series. These new sets definitely have better design compared to these old ones. Since the new F1 sets mark the beginning of a fresh series, it's difficult to predict this set 2023 McLaren Formula 1's future value. Will people still want it after 1 or 2 years because they might think it's an OG Formula 1 set, or will they just forget about it as they may consider the new series is the true beginning? In my opinion, I believe collectors who are interested in the new F1 series will still want this previous model. That's why I'm ranking it at number 4. Let's check the sales data from Amazon. There are over 3,000 sets being sold in the past month. And also let's check the review on lego.com. The Ford Mustang has only 49 reviews, while this F1 vehicle has 93 reviews. So for both of the data shows it's much more popular than the Ford Mustang. Let's move on to number 3 on my list, the Lamborghini Lambo V12 version GT sport car, set number 76923 with 230 pieces. Well, I'm not a really huge fan of collecting Speed Champion sets or particularly familiar with sport car, but this concept car's design is truly beautiful. In my opinion, it's really unique compared to the other Speed Champion sets. There are not many futuristic concept cars in the Speed Champion market, and that's my first selling point. The second point is that the demand data is very strong. Let's check the data from Amazon. There are over 7,000 sets in the past month, which is 3 times more than the Ford Mustang and more than double the McLaren Formula 1. Here is an interesting thing about a personal experience and knowledge versus data. Sometimes we think a set is good, but we just cannot find the data to support it. And other times, we might not feel strongly about a set, but when we check the data, we figure out it is actually good. So this could be the case. Before checking any data, I would not think the Lamborghini Lambo sales will be double or triple than the other popular Speed Champion set. When these kind of things happen, and then when our judgment differs from the data, we need to ask ourselves why and trying to figure out the reason behind the numbers. My guess is that this set is the only future concept car in the Speed Champion line. For example, someone may not be a typical Speed Champion collector, but wants a futuristic concept car, maybe for their city or other reasons, and this vehicle will definitely interest them. And that's the reason why I feel it could have a larger audience. Alright, let's move on to number 2 on my list. The Too Fast Too Furious Nissan Skyline, set number 76917 with 319 pieces. This LEGO set is a bit complex, and this section will be quite long. So if you get bored halfway through, feel free just skip to my number 1 pick in the next section. This set has both advantages and disadvantages, and I will share my investment strategy at the end for this set. The main advantage is the high demand for this set. It's the second set in the Too Fast Too Furious miniseries, which makes it more unique and collectible. With the recent release of the Too Fast, Too Furious Honda S2000, there could be more sets coming to this mini-series in the future. Let's check the first retired set from 2023, the Dodge Charger, set number 76912. And it was discounted to about $13 to $15, and the current value is $37. So this set has outperformed most of the other retired speed champion sets. The Nissan Skyline is much more popular than the Dodge Charger was when both were released. There was significant buzz around this Nissan Skyline, although it has cooled down a little bit. And looking at the Amazon data, there are over 6,000 sets sold in the past month. For a set that has been on the market for over 2 years, this shows demand remains very strong. And you might be wondering why the Lamborghini Lambo is selling 7,000 sets while the Nissan Skyline is only selling 6,000 sets. Does this mean the Lamborghini Lambo will be a better investment? And here is how I consider these numbers. The current sales data may show how popular each set appears to customers while they still on store shelves, which means how they perform after retirement will be different. For the Nissan Skyline, I believe people will still willing to pay extra $10, $20, even $30 to get it on the secondary market. However, the Lamborghini Lambo may not still being very attractive to collectors after 1 or 2 years. Not to mention if Lego release another concept car in the future, maybe with an even better design or better colors. And for the Too Fast, Too Furious speed champion sets, with more coming in the future, will actually increase the demand of the retired ones. And this is how I considering like the sales data for now may not 100% directly indicate the performance in the future. But still, I cannot be 100% certain which one will definitely perform better than the other after retirement. Now, let's discuss the main downside of this Nissan Skyline. The secondary market supply is going to be huge. It's already oversupplied on the secondary market. Let's look at the eBay data. There are over 700 listings for this set on eBay, which I would say is a little crazy. Normally, anything over 300 listings indicates a large supply. I cannot even recall seeing any set over 500 listings, not to mention this one has over 700 listings. So you can imagine that after retirement this year, as people getting more inventory, the number may increase in the future. And that's what really concerns me. So let's compare this set to other speed champion sets that were also oversupplied on the secondary market. The first example is the Aston Martin DB5, set number 76911. This set was retired by the end of 2023, just like the Dodge Charger. But the Dodge Charger's price has already increased to $37. Maybe the Dodge Charger have a higher demand, but the main issue with the DB5 was its massive supply on the secondary market. This set was very often discounted to around $10, $11, $12, and with very large inventory available across all major retailers. And also this set was on sale for a very long time by end of 2023. That is the reason why the inventory on the secondary market be very large. The second set I wanted to compare is the Lamborghini Countach, set number 76908. This is also a Lego set that people talk about a lot, and we all predict the secondary market supply will be massive. And there are currently 459 listings on eBay. However, when we check the price, according to Brick Economy, the current value is $24. You can imagine that after a year or two, it will definitely perform much more better than the DB5. So looking at these two examples, I think oversupply in the secondary market may not be a very huge issue for this Nissan Skyline. Because I think the demand for this set is larger than the DB5, than the Dodge Charger, and the Lamborghini Countach. So now I wanted to share my personal strategy to make the Nissan Skyline a good investment, I would say I need to keep 3 key points in mind. First, I should purchase it at a very deep discount than the other Speed Champion set retiring by end of this year. Because of the oversupply in the second market, a $2, $5 difference will be really crucial. And the second, I need to hold it for a longer time, at least 1.5 years or even more than 2 years. Because we have to wait and let the market digest the oversupply during the first and a half year. And after that, demand should catch up as supply decrease, since there will be no more new inventory on the market. The third point is about finding an effective way to sell this set. Consider using Facebook Market, opening an Amazon seller account, or attending events to sell this inventory. Alright, let's move on to the rank number 1 on my list. It's a Mercedes-AMG 63 double pack, set number 76924, with 808 pieces. I will keep this section simple since you've been suffer from my last long section. Before discussing anything special about this set, I want to mention that I've always been interested in investing Speed Champion double packs. First of all, double packs often offers better value for money. While individual Speed Champion set from last year cost $20 to $25, retiring double pack were only $35, and with discount, the price per vehicle became even better. And the second, since double pack have a higher retail price, so it will reduce the supply on the second market, and that will make the value go up easier and with less risk. And the third, the higher value means I can make a larger profit per set I sell. Although the ROI will not match a small pack, but I've covered this topic in my last video. If your profit per set is only $5 or $10, I would not consider that's really an investment profit. I think that's a profit coming from the retail part. So these are all the benefits of Speed Champion double packs. And now, let's get back to this Pacific set. I would say these two vehicles are just simply too popular and classic for both personal collection or investment purpose. The Mercedes-AMG G63 is a very common model we often see on the street, and in a black color is very iconic vehicle. And the SL63 is a little weird on the road, but it's an iconic, attractive car. A lot of people dream about it. Additionally, this pack contains over 800 pieces, which means for each vehicle in this pack has about 400 pieces. That is much more than the typical 240 to 300 pieces per set in the other Speed Champion sets. So for all these reasons combined, I put this set as my number 1 on the list. And that's all my top picks from this year's Speed Champion series. Hope you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video, because that will really motivate me and help this channel. Thank you. See you in the next one.